I think fourth turnings cannot be avoided. And I think it's, and I think if you look at this more broadly as part of a healthy functioning of society, we now know that forests occasionally require fires, rivers require floods. I mean, you look at complex systems in nature, and they require often they move through these periods of punctuated equilibria, right? And everything is normal for a while, but then they require this huge reset. And I do believe that that's true of modern societies. And I think what happens is that everyone's trying to, we all believe in progress, and we're trying to change institutions so they work perfectly until we kind of get to a stasis. And then interests begin to, barnacle-like, begin to cohere around that, and we become more of a kind of a rentier society. We sort of plug ourselves into all the sinecures. We no longer understand what made the original system work. After the last crisis, we no longer have that same communal impulse that we once had, right? And we all frankly become more selfish. I mean, it's as simple as that. And later on, that sense of collective instinct requires something drastic to be revived. And this happens again and again. This is something that needs to be relearned, so to speak, right? And I have a number of chapters actually in the book describing the social processes by which this occurs. I mean, I talk about how in the fourth turning we move from not just individualism to community, but we move from inequality to equality, which I think is a very interesting one from today's perspective. We move from defiance to authority. This time when authority becomes real, but we're all familiar that crises, we have wars and compulsion and, massive organized conflict that often occurs. And this is what scares people about fourth turnings, which, and I do agree, it's a time to be very careful about what kind of policies you choose. But in the end, you come out of it strengthened in the eyes of everyone alive at the time. What follows as a new golden age. And we become blind to that. We sometimes think that without any different kind of environment, we can just invent our own paradise and live in it forever. That's just not how we function. I'm sorry, we're just not that good as a species to do that. You know what I mean? And we require a process to keep us there. And actually, I think that one of the functions of turnings or seasonal history is to push societies out of what they're used to into a new unknown realm. I actually think this helps functionality, even though people don't like crisis. In fact, people never like a new social mood, which isn't what they've been used to, right? It's always painful to move in, and not only into but through the next season. But yeah, that's what we've got.